Hello everyone, my name is Johnny Kennedy and this is my speech 4 on why college athletes should be paid. The purpose of this speech is to persuade my audience, you guys, that college student athletes should be paid for their likeness and for the money they bring into the school. Student athletes should be paid due to the amount of money they make for their respective schools and for companies. Do you know what a college athlete goes through on a day-to-day basis? I do. This process is very tedious. I know this because I've done plenty of research on this topic for many years, and also I'm a divisional athlete myself, so I have a first-hand knowledge of what goes on. Student athletes should be paid for the amount of money they make for their respective schools and the amount of revenue they bring to the NCAA, the company itself. When people talk about student athletes being paid, they feel as if going to school for free on scholarship is enough. They feel that it's a handout, it's a privilege, which is not the case because they're putting in if not the same, twice as much work as regular students. Student athletes have been bringing money for schools and NCAA as long as we can remember. They have been doing things without anything in return. They can't even accept a simple free meal when they're hungry or struggling without it being looked at as a violation and the chance of losing their amateur status. It is time for student athletes to get what they deserve. Student athletes need to be allowed to earn some type of reward for playing. College sports is the main source of entertainment all over the world and brings in tons of money to schools. Also, some of the reasons why some of these schools have their big names right now. In 2019, the NCAA generated $867.53 million in revenue from its television and marketing rights fee segment. Statistica 2019. This basically means people are watching NCAA sports, and that's bringing in tons of money for the company. Student athletes being paid a small percentage of what they make would allow them to have better living situations and not feel used. This would allow student athletes to make a little extra money in their pocket since they aren't allowed to even get jobs. Some athletes complain about being hungry and even not having any money to eat at times. This needs to change. Studies have shown that most students on campuses agree that student athletes should be paid in some type of way. Paying student athletes shouldn't be against NCAA regulations as long as the athletes are bringing in revenue for the school, which they do. Just three short years after breaking the $1 billion mark, the NCAA basketball tournament, made $1 billion in ad revenue on its own. Yahoo 2020. This means just from the NCAA tournament, which is players playing basketball, the NCAA company brought in $1 billion. Some of this should go to the players, in my opinion. Big companies are profiting off branding college athletes, asking them to wear their apparel and other things, etc. Which meaning this is making people on the outside world buy the apparel because they see their favorite college athlete wearing that with respect to 2019. This is also being used for their likeliness, and they're not even be able to make money off their names. Commercials, jerseys, they can't even get any of that money, any of that percentage. Schools continue to make money off of the image of their athletes without them getting things in return. They feel used. The athletes put their bodies on the line night in and night out. Setting aside the disturbing fact that career-ending injury will stop their scholarship, those college athletes put their bodies at risk of permanent damage without being paid the perspective. They suffer concussions that can cause dementia and depression, not to mention CTE. There are laws and rules that are beginning to be into play that would allow college student athletes to be able to earn money off their names. An NCAA announcement earlier this week directed its 3 divisions to allow student athletes to benefit from their name, image, and likeness, CBS Sports. This means that if a player goes out and for a school and they're making money for that school in the NCAA, that means some of that money will come into return that they get to benefit off their name. Also, Governor of California, Governor Newsom, signed a bill to allow college student athletes to hire agents and make money from endorsements, New York Times. This means student athletes and college athletes will finally get the chance to get money from the endorsements from the big brands that they're wearing. which they weren't able to do before. Still keep their amateur status as long as the agent they hire is NCAA certified. In conclusion, I would hope that I informed you all on why student athletes deserve to get paid for their names. Schools and NCAA as an organization continue to make millions of dollars off these players year in and year out without them getting anything in return. They're also putting their bodies on the line for the fans and entertainment. As of right now, bills are being passed that will allow them to earn some money off their names. Since we all understand what college athletes go through on a day-to-day basis and how they are used, let's take action in getting them what they deserve. Help them make an informed decision, and I hope this makes you help make an informed decision on whether or not you support student athletes being paid or not. I will hope we all understand now why college athletes deserve to earn money off their names and likeness as well, like the NCAA and schools do. Thank you for your time.